Why do you support Donald Trump?
I support Trump because he has done everything that he campaigned on. So we can't you can't look at Trump's actions and say he didn't campaign on it. We all knew what he was campaigning on. All politicians, I respect everybody's beliefs about what they believe and what they don't believe. So I'm not here to argue with you, about why you support Kamala or why I support Trump. I'm just telling you why I support Trump, and then I'm going to let you talk. But but he did campaign on everything that he said that he was going to do, and he's doing it. So we shouldn't be surprised. Right, far left. Um, you know about what he's doing because he's literally campaigned on it. Now, all politics, in my opinion, all politicians are lining their pockets with money, especially with big pharma. I'm a nurse in the hospital. I think they're all pieces of it, all of them. But we had to vote for the better of the two. Kamala, I see where people would want to vote for Kamala. I understand
Kamala.
where they would plead that she could have made a good president. However, she was not even chosen for the Democratic ticket. So that would be the reason why.
So I actually think she was because the Biden-Harris ticket is what we voted for in terms of the primary. So we know if that Biden steps down, that Harris would step up. That's the set of circumstances that we would know would happen. That's what did happen. Of course, no one decided to run against her. 80% of the Democratic Party was satisfied with her being the nominee. So democratically speaking, we would have determined her even if we had a vote, like specifically,
Your opinion, that's
from the
fine. And
population.
I get it. It's your opinion. I'm fine with that.
No, it's
I mean,
not my opinion. It's what an
I'm not
AP.
gonna be like
It's what an
you.
AP poll indicated, and what plenty of other polls indicated. Plus, I do want to reference like
We have our
Trump.
own polls
Not
too.
everything Trump said he
Polls
was
is
going to
not
do,
always
he was going to
true.
do, or he ended up doing, and there are plenty of things that he ended up doing that he didn't run on. Now, if you want to talk
He did
about
run on
ICE,
everything that
for
he was
example,
doing in both terms.
do you think that ICE, um, Alex, Pretti, and Renee Good?
Um, I think they shot him in self-defense.
Really? So, do you think that, for example, we'll start with Alex Pretti. Do you think that was in self-defense?
Absolutely. I'm my husband's a police officer. You
Mm-hmm.
cannot come at a police officer, ICE agents, or the police.
They weren't. They were
And
on the ground. They were being held down by multiple different agents. Not
no,
only that,
sir,
but also they
no,
were disarmed. They had no.
no, they weren't.
They were
You got a
disarmed. You can
control
actually see in the
order.
video one of the agents take them away. You can see them grab the.
Okay. Well, they were not.
They were.
Um, well, I mean, that's your belief. I'm not arguing with you. You can, I mean, because what makes the world go round is that we all have different beliefs. So I have mine, you have yours. But I'm going to tell you that my husband's a police officer, and if he was on the border or he was an ICE agent in the stay in time, he's going to come home before anybody else does. So we have to respect our police officers, and ICE agents are police officers. When you start defunding the police is when you have problems. When we took the Bible out of the school is when we started having problems.
Okay, so
So
the Bible definitely shouldn't be in school, and we're
it
also not
should
advocating
be.
to defund the police. That's not the argument. The argument was reallocating police funds towards things that are better suited at fighting crime. That was actually the argument. So it's
And
still
what is the
addressing
argument then?
security.
Okay.
It's just
Bible should be
reallocate
in
the
school
funds.
because on our money it says in God we trust. Washington
That was
founded
added in
this
like the 50s, I
country.
think.
No, no, sir. It's still on your coins. If you look at your coins, it says "In God We Trust." Apparently, you don't look at your money when you spend
Yeah,
it.
I know. I have
But
seen
it
it. Now,
does say,
secondly, like I just want to address the fact that regardless of whether or not that says that, doesn't mean we should base it on Christianity. And if you want to look at the Constitution,
should we be,
they
do
explicitly
we
said
have
that
to
we're not a
worry?
Christian country and that we're a secular country, and we shouldn't base our laws on religious prescriptions.
Okay, well, let me ask you a question. Washington found this country on the principles of faith in God. And so God is in
No,
government.
on
If you don't
separation of
like
church and
it,
state.
that's fine.
No, it was founded on
If you don't
separation
like
of church
it,
and state.
then we shouldn't put in God we trust on our money. Okay.
Okay, sure.
And then
Let's get rid of
secondly,
let's get rid of that. I'm okay with that.
and so secondly, Um, Let me ask you a question. So should we teach? So because I don't believe I have a gay daughter, okay? So I'm not against gays, okay? I'm not against trans. I love everybody, so
Well,
don't. I'm not gonna.
you do vote against them.
What did you say?
Well, you vote for people who negatively impact them to a greater extent.
Um, I don't judge because I'm not the judge, but we had to vote on the better of the two. Neither one of these people that we had to vote for are were suitable in my eyes for office of the president.
Okay.
But now that he's the president, we have to we're not when you support the president, you are supporting the office of the president no matter who's in it. Do I think Biden failed at his administration? Absolutely, because he was entirely too old. He might have been a good president had he not been so old and they hid like all of that was going on behind the scenes about his being frail and his mind and things like this. He might have been a good president in his younger years, but out of the two women, I do not think, and I'm a woman, so I can say this: women do not need to be in charge of a country.
That's insane. Just because you're a woman, that doesn't give you the right to say that explicitly. Because the fact that like there's nothing
We
about being
act
a
on our
woman that would
emotions.
restrict your ability to be a leader of a country. Just
Okay,
because you're a
I don't want
woman.
to be a leader of a country
Yeah,
because
no
I
one's
think we
saying you
act
have
on our
to. No one's
emotions,
saying you
and
have to.
so
I don't want to be a leader of a country either, but that doesn't mean men shouldn't be able to be president.
well, I mean, I think just like men should not, women should not be preachers. I believe that women should
I
not
think
be
women definitely
pastors.
can be preachers, and if they want to, should be able to be preachers.
I mean, it's a free country, so you can believe how you want to. But I'm just saying that of the two, I
So then,
mean,
wait, I have a
my
question. Why are you
son,
preaching right now then?
I'm not preaching. My son was in Germany having a baby, and I flew to Germany. And Kamala Harris, they had there. She was on the NATO floor over there in Germany. And as soon as I landed in Frankfurt, Kamala Harris created a complete fist fight on the NATO floor because she played word salad. Okay, so she could not even speak on the NATO floor when I flew to Germany. Okay, so I was gonna say, you know, if she knew anything about history or anything about how the government runs, maybe she could have been voted for by people who believed in her,
She
but she
does know
doesn't
about
even
those
know
things.
anything
Like,
about
can you name
government. Then
anything
why did
she?
she have the
Wait,
NATO floor in a fist fight? NATO are they are our allies.
wait. What did she?
Do you
What
know
do you
do
think
you
she
have the
did? Sorry,
plane
repeat that.
Sir, when I flew to Germany to see my grandson be born at Landstuhl Air Force Base, okay, that's why I flew to Germany. When I got off the plane, everybody was in an uproar because she had everybody on the NATO floor in a fist fight because she knew nothing but a word salad. So when you go on
NATO
to
wasn't in a
NATO,
fist fight. No one reported on this. I don't even know where you
oh,
got
okay,
this.
all right.
Now,
So
if you
you're
want to
not
reference like
watching the right
actually NATO
channel.
NATO having like a fight, Trump literally threatened to take Greenland, which is a NATO ally, and cause the dissolution of NATO. So if you actually want to talk about us like us having like a
We need
fist
to
fight
take
with NATO,
Greenland,
that was due to
actually.
Trump, not due to
We
Harris.
need Kamala Harris during the Biden
Kamala.
administration is what I'm talking about.
I
My
understand.
grandson is 3 years old.
I understand that you're talking about
So
Kamala Harris
Trump
under the
was not
Biden
in
Harris
presidency.
administration. What?
It was during the Biden Harris administration.
Oh, okay. I understand.
When I flew to Germany, they were in Germany and she caused a fist fight on a NATO floor because she had all she did was like we're doing right now. It's a word salad.
Again, literally no, you gave nothing to just substantiate anything, right? You're not
Okay, I
providing
didn't. You just didn't.
what
I guess you just
particular.
forget about the videos of people
I
who.
actually don't think there's a single video that you can mention. Genuinely, like I can show you multiple
Okay,
videos of
I'll
Donald Trump
send it
right
to
now.
you.
For
What's your
example, I
email?
can show
Is
you
it
a
in
video.
your?
I can show you a video of Donald Trump saying windmills are causing whales to die in numbers never seen before. I can show you a video of Donald Trump literally looking up at an eclipse twice with his bare eyes. I can show you a video of Donald Trump was saying we should nuke hurricanes to fight them. I can show you a video of Donald Trump saying if the Jesus were the vote
What
counter
did
in
Biden do for the
California that he would have
country?
won the vote. I can show you a video of Donald Trump saying the most insane, ludicrous bullshit you've ever heard in your life.
Okay, then why did he turn the country red?
What? Because people were willing to buy his misinformation because they attributed inflation to the incumbent president, even if it wasn't caused by them.
Okay. So you discerned that the whole entire country turned red because you think that because of the administration and he failed consistently at the administration, the Biden-Harris administration, they both failed consistently. They lied about his declining health. So Kamala should have stepped up
Kamala.
many years ago. I don't know what her. I don't really give a crap how you spell her, how you say her
Well, so
name.
I
Okay.
think that I mean I
I
think you
don't
should do
like
that for
her.
respect, but like if you
So
want to reference Biden, Biden should have not run in the 2024 election, right? I think that's true. I think he should have just been a one-term candidate, like he said he was going to do. I think that the fault
exactly.
was
So
on
he
behalf of
lied.
Biden, not Harris.
Okay. He lied. So if you were gonna put a Democratic
I'm sorry if you cared about
party
lying. I don't
up,
know why you support Trump. Trump is such a significantly bigger liar. Like I'm sorry, I don't even know if I would consider those
they're
lies.
all
I think that
liars
they
in
would
my
specifically
opinion,
say that
but we
like
have to vote for the better of the two.
okay,
So
well I
do
think
you
that Trump's a
agree that
significantly greater
Biden
liar.
let me explain something to you. Let's go this way with it then. He ran on closing the borders. Do you think the borders should be closed?
Not in the manner in which Donald Trump is doing so. I think he's violating constitutionally protected rights. I think that the border
They have
agents,
no
the federal border
constitutional
agents, are
rights to.
literally U.S. citizens in broad daylight. I think that
No, he's not
they're
murdering U.S.
acting
citizens
without
abroad.
accountability.
Daylight.
They made it so that they can literally racially profile.
Let me ask you a question. Do you have children?
Yeah, I have 10 kids.
Okay, you have 10 kids. Okay, so do you um my daughter goes to the University of Georgia, and there was a girl that was up there, and he stalked her while she ran on the campus, and he was an illegal immigrant. Do you know how many of them are around?
Undocumented immigrants
Do
are
you
multiple
want your
times.
kids? Do you want any of your kids to be or take the that are coming across that border?
Definitely not. No,
My
so
husband,
undocumented
if my
immigrants.
husband is a
Wait,
police
hold on. I have to tell
officer,
you this one thing. You can't say any DRUG name in specific, so I don't have to kick you because it's TikTok TOS. It's a really weird thing that they have. But like just in general, like the point I want to make is that undocumented immigrants are multiple times less likely to commit violent crime, property crime in the country compared to natural born U.S. citizens. Americans do that to a higher extent. If you're making an issue about like the nominal crime increasing and we could have prevented that, well then you could specifically say that we should ban tourism because tourists come to the country and they commit crime, right? That wouldn't make any sense.
I'm not saying they can't come here. If they commit crime, then we hold them to the highest extent of the law.
Exactly. Same
But
thing
would
with
you,
undocumented
of
immigrants.
any of your 10 kids that you have, I know you don't have 10 kids because you're 18 years old,
I'm
but
not
if
18. What did you get that I was 18?
okay, 25 maybe, 18 to 25, but I know you don't have 10 kids, so that's how you people lie. I
What are you
have
talking about? I do
three
have 10
kids.
children. Why are you denying my 10 kids'
Okay,
existence?
okay, you have 10 kids. That's great. So do you want
What?
your
I
children,
don't know why that's like such a crazy thing.
do you believe in the death penalty?
No, I don't.
Okay. It's a capital crime. So do you want to have your daughter and, and would you believe in it then?
So I don't believe in the death penalty as a whole. Now, do I care if like people who have committed those crimes like died or something? No, I wouldn't care. But like the reality of the matter is I do
So
think
you do
that the
believe
death
in the death
penalty from a federal
penalty.
standpoint leads to innocent people dying. Now, in terms of this, I would say
I
that
do believe that there are
I
innocent
would say
people
that like
too,
if you
though. I
want
agree with
to
that.
decrease the likelihood of people, probably shouldn't vote into the position of the presidency.
A reason to the
Yeah, you
position
voted
of the
Donald Trump. He was
presidency?
held civilly liable
No. Then why is he not in jail?
because of the fact that it was past the statute of limitations for New York
It's
in
a
terms of
capital
criminal
crime,
cases.
sir. You need to look up. It's a
Yeah,
capital
and he
crime.
was
There are no limitations. I have
there
a
are
rape
statute of
kit on
limitations in New
file at
York.
the Georgia crime. I have a rape kit on file, and there's no statute of limitations. That is a
So
capital
that would be depending on
crime.
the state. In the context of New York, there is a statute of limitations that prevented
No,
them
sir,
from.
there's not.
There is.
No, there's
Yes,
not.
there is. There literally is.
Okay, well, send it to my email and I'll review that. But there's
Yeah, this is
not. I
vastly
think you're
reported
too
on. You
young
can
to
find this on
know
AP
what
News. You can find this on NPR, PBS, Reuters.
that's what your problem is. You're not looking at the laws, what
I
the
mean,
law
they
says.
report on the laws. The laws
No,
do
you
indicate that there was a statute of
so
limitation.
so what you're telling me is that you are so you're listening to other people instead of you doing your own research.
I did research and
Rape is a capital crime.
I looked into what the articles indicate specifically what is true about it, and I read the law. So I mean, like,
Okay, so you read the law and you know that the law said it's not a capital crime or is a capital
no,
crime.
no, it's specifically that there was a
There's no statute of
so
limitations
there's
on
two things
capital
here.
crime.
There's two things here. One, it technically classified as because she didn't know whether or not it was a male member or a finger specifically in the context. So like it technically the definition of in the context of New York was forceful penetration utilizing a male member, which again we think it's for any forceful penetration of a woman's or will. So the definition being that way was up in the first place. But
Yeah,
under
that's
that
fucked up.
extent, there was
I
still
agree.
a statute of limitations for in terms of criminal cases beyond 5 years in New York, especially for that time. So, in the context of the civil court, she went after him originally because of the fact that she was being defamed by him. And then, in order to prove defamation, she had to prove which she did.
Is a capital crime. All these people are in here saying, I know the laws because my husband is a federal agent. So what I'm trying to say is I know that are capital crimes. You can't
No,
get
but
away
like,
with just going around people.
wait,
Now, if you've got a
I'm
rape
sorry.
kit,
You're just like you're not even looking into what I'm saying. I want you to look into what I'm saying. Was there a statute of limitations, right, in New York for right, that prevented Eugene
the
Carroll
case
from
that you're
holding her
talking
abuser
about,
accountable in a criminal court? Yes, there
I'm
was.
asking you, the case that you are discussing right now, was she and
Yes.
was there a kit on file?
No, there was no kit because
Okay, well then she
this
wasn't
was
right.
wait, you believe if there was no kit done that she was
Did she feel like she was right at the time that it happened?
yes.
Okay, then she should have went to the hospital because they hold it very, very
So but
seriously.
because
I
she
am a
didn't
hospital
wait,
worker.
stop though. But because she didn't, that means it didn't happen to her.
How long ago did it happen to her?
1995, 1996.
Okay, so she was gonna wait until he runs for president to talk about it?
You understand that like she came out in I think it was 2019 specifically. And
Okay, so she waited
this
from
was after let me please fully
1994, 1995.
explain.
I
So
graduated from high school
so
then.
many
I'm
victims
49 years old.
many victims take decades to come out, right? It's very common for victims to take
I'm a
decades.
victim. I
Yeah,
get it.
I'm really sorry to hear that. I'm really sorry to hear that.
And I work also in the hospital where where we help rape victims. And there's all kind of places that she could have gone
Yeah, but right
and
now you're not
said, "Hey,
believing
I've
them,
been
right? So like
raped."
genuinely, it seems crazy to me
I
right now
believe I've
that
been
you would be
raped.
in those circumstances, and then you would say that you wouldn't believe them if they came to you.
I'm sorry, what now?
Yeah, if someone came to you and they told you this that happened to them, would you believe them?
If they waited until somebody that had this, if they waited from 1995 to say that Donald Trump time
2019.
until now in 2019 because he ran for president and he won 2 terms, I would question it because I'd be like, well, why didn't you talk about
He
it
didn't win the
when
second one
he
either.
was on the show The Apprentice? Why didn't you talk about it
So then there's a few
when
things here.
he
So there's a few things here.
okay.
Just because a victim did
Why
not
are we
come out
just
right
not talking
away,
about it
d-
because he's the
just because
president?
of so again, this is a bad thing. Just because a victim did not come out right away does not mean it didn't happen to them. Okay,
Why I'm not saying it didn't happen to her,
that's what
but
you're
my
claiming. You're
problem
claiming
is
that because that
why did
happened, that
she
there's not enough
wait
evidence.
until he became a
Wait, let me
president?
clarify. Let me clarify. It's not just Eugene Carroll. There's 26 plus people that have accused Donald Trump of sexual misconduct. Okay,
Okay,
alongside
okay,
Eugene
and
Carroll.
what
So
sexual misconduct was
do you
that?
believe every single one of them are lying?
No, I don't know because I was not there. I'm not arguing with
You
if
don't need to
you
be there. Do you believe every single one of these victims are lying?
I don't know. I don't know if they're lying or not. I would hate to say that somebody would lie about being or misconduct
So it's
being
incredibly unlikely for every single one of them to be lying. So if at least one of them
no,
is
I'm
telling the
not
truth,
saying
isn't
that.
that
I'm
good
not
enough reason? If at least one
I
of them is
said
telling
that
the truth, isn't
would
that
hope
if at least one of them
that they
good?
I said that I would hope that they would not lie about being okay. That is a serious, serious, serious crime. Okay. The misconduct, when you're talking about the Me Too thing, why do we go after people with a whole bunch of damn money? Okay, that's my thing. So you're gonna come out from of a 1995 thing, and when he gets into the spotlight and he runs for president, it just seems so weird that you're gonna talk about. Don't call me a piece of. I'm not. I I don't care how you. I'm just trying to tell you that that's just not how you handle business. Is come out when he starts to run for president. That's not how you come out. I
Actually,
mean,
it makes
like
sense. It
it
makes
took
sense.
me a
It makes
long
sense for
time to
people to come
talk
out
about
that
my
way.
race. I'm sorry, what?
It makes sense for people to come out that way because of the
So
fact that
if you
say they
rape someone,
say they
if you
say,
had raped
oh my
someone,
gosh, please, 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 let me make this point. So they didn't come out right away. They know that that person is them. They get into a position of power. Wouldn't that make sense that they'd want to tell more people about it in that circumstance, or that they could?
I
No,
would
that's
think
all it
that you
was.
would tell if you're a true victim. If you asked me, I wouldn't care what position you held or what position you didn't hold or if you were a nobody. I would damn sure go and tell somebody that I think I've been and I was in my sleep. I was with a date
Let's
rape
pause real quick.
drug.
Let's pause real quick. So just because you would respond that way does not mean that every other victim needs to respond that way in order to be believed. Does that make sense?
I mean, what I'm saying is, why did we wait until he ran for president to come
Okay, so
out?
this is a separate claim, but do you at least agree that just because you responded that way does not mean other people have to respond that way in order for
Everybody
it to have
doesn't
happened to them?
respond the same way to, okay? We all
Exactly.
know
So
that.
exactly. So then, like, the point that I would then make is that, like, if they don't come out right away, that's not reason to not believe them. Like,
I
for
do,
example,
however,
with
people
with chil-
lie.
with children who didn't come out right away, they were as a kid. Would you blame them for not coming out right away?
I work with children as well. I've worked in a pediatric office where where children, were told, don't tell your parents because I'm going to kill your family. Of course, they're not going to come out. They're children. Okay. I go to church, but the church that I used to attend, a pastor, a little girl, and
Sorry to hear
she
that.
really thought that he was her boyfriend. So I believe that are everywhere. But if I accused you of, should I be believed?
I don't know why you would say something like that. If someone genuinely accuses someone of, I think that they should be believed. Yes.
Okay. But
Yeah.
so I can just go around and just start accusing men and say that they raped me and have them put in
Yeah. No one's
prison.
just doing that. Okay. It's very
Okay.
unlikely for that to happen. I would believe if someone told me that something happened to them like that, I
It
would
happens
believe
all the
them.
time.
I would
There's a
believe
lot of
them.
innocent
Listen,
people
listen,
in prison.
listen. I would believe them until I have good reason to believe otherwise.
Okay. Well, you're gonna have to you would have to show me a lot because if you were in 1995 and then you waited until somebody ran for president to come out,
I don't know why
then
that's such a
I would be
complicated
like,
thing to
why
understand that
didn't
someone could take that long to come out. And like, let me explain. Let me explain. The same way that you said that there are social pressures that lead to children not coming out right away, specifically in events in which they've been.
it's not
The
social
same thing.
pressure, it's
Listen,
just them telling
wait.
their
By the way, I just want to
story.
clarify. There are plenty of children that don't come out due to certain types of social pressures that exist. I'm saying that the same social pressures that limit those children from coming out are similar social pressures that exist for adults that limit them from coming out as well because they aren't believed because people say you didn't do it in this particular way or you're just trying to go after their money or you're lying and all of these things where they won't believe them even if they hold their abuser accountable in a civil court. Literally, an entire unanimous decision of 9 people in a jury indicated that Donald Trump Carroll, and you don't think that's like good enough evidence. 26 plus people have accused him of misconduct. You don't think that's a good enough evidence. He literally bragged about grabbing women by the without asking, and you don't think that's good enough evidence. He bragged about walking into the changing rooms with women while they're changing without their consent, where an 18-year-old came out, so there were 4 girls in these changing rooms when Donald Trump would barge in, and you still don't think that's enough evidence. At what point would there be enough evidence?
You're not old enough to have voted for the Clinton administration, clearly. So do you think that he was a bad president, Clinton? President Clinton, what do you know about Clinton?
Yeah, I would condemn any Democrat that has committed actions that I can consider like to be crimes, right? If you were to consider that, like, Say, for example, Bill Clinton was affiliated with Epstein and was like literally involved with that and was criminally involved, then absolutely he should be condemned and you shouldn't support him.
Okay. Okay, then we're on the same page. Um,
Okay, but
I
then why
can't,
is
I
Trump
have
not
not
releasing the
seen,
Epstein files and violating the law?
he did release the Epstein
No, he
files.
didn't. 99% of the Epstein files have not been released.
That is not true.
That is true.
Where are you getting that information from? Are
Practically
you doing
every
your own
mainstream media
research?
source. I have done my own research. They admit
Okay.
themselves that
What is your
99%
research
are,
then
they
about
admit
that?
themselves that they haven't released everything and that they are not releasing everything because they are not mandated by, or they essentially no court in the United States can force them to do it, is essentially what they said.
Okay, if they're saying that, then they're wrong. It
Yeah,
should be
that's
released.
literally like, and by the way,
Okay.
like,
But
and this is
I
even
don't
by,
know where the
and by the way, this is
information
even
comes
said
from,
by
but
some Republicans. Like, do you know who Thomas Massey is?
I do.
He says that they're
Mhm.
not trying to release them. He's worked
Well,
with
that's wrong
Rokana.
if they're not releasing
Yeah,
them.
he's worked with Rokana to try to get them to have some type of oversight so that they do release them because they don't think that they are going to release them if just left up to themselves.
Okay. So, it's very wrong if they're not releasing it. And if he's involved in it, then he should relinquish his position as president. However, I have not seen where they have not released them because
Yeah, the DOJ
um,
says this themselves. They say less than 1%. I can send
those
you
are
an
two
article. The
women
title
that
is
are in
less than
trouble.
1% of
Those are
Epstein
two
files released.
women
The title is
that are in charge of the DOJ.
the title is less than 1% of Epstein files released so far, DOJ says.
Where are you getting that from? What's your news source?
I just told you the title. Less than 1% of the Epstein files released, right, are so far, DOJ says.
Okay.
It's from a DOH
I
file.
don't like people in the chat calling me a piece of. We're just talking. So that's very rude to call me a piece of nurse. Okay, because I help everyone in every way, and it shouldn't matter who I voted for. Because because I don't care who you voted for. We can have different views and different beliefs without being ugly to each other.
I know, but
Okay,
like you
I
just
did not
denied
call you
victims, like genuinely,
stupid.
like there was so
I'm
much
sorry, what now?
there's so much evidence
I did not
indicating that all of
deny.
them are accurate, and you're denying them. You're victim
I'm
blaming
not
there.
denying that he anyone. If he someone and it can be proven in a court of law,
It was
then he
in a
should be
civil
put in
court.
jail.
It was
Well, then
proven in a civil court.
why did they not put him in jail then?
I
You
told you
tell
because of
me.
statute of
Something
limitations
had
that
to have happened.
because of statute of limitations that prevented them from trying them in a criminal court because of the statute of limitations.
Okay, so we went to civil court, and what happened?
He was proven to have done this in a civil court, unanimous decision of
Then he
all
should be
nine
in
people in the
jail.
jury.
Okay, if all not there's not 9 people in a jury, but
Yeah,
okay.
there were. Yes,
Um,
there were. There were 9 people in the jury.
okay, apparently you need to go to court, but
Wait, do you want to
because
bet? You want to bet? I literally know that there were 9 people in that jury.
okay, what is your email? We'll talk back and forth. You can email me your sources, and then I'll email you what my sources were.
I could. Do you want me to just like show you on the screen right now how many
So why did they not put
jurors
him in jail?
were in E. Jean Carroll
I just
case
got
against Trump?
shot 2 inches from my face by an abuser, and then he pulled the and the bullet exploded in the barrel before it went off. There's not 9 people in the jury
Wait, that was
there.
that specific jury. What? This one there was 9.
Okay, so there's 9. Okay, so if he was convicted, why did he not go to jail?
So
I'm
again,
asking that question.
because of the fact that there was a statute of limitations that
We're
prevented
talking about
him.
civil court there, right?
Yes, civil court doesn't put you in jail.
It can if you have proof on a person. Yes, sir, it can.
No, it doesn't. That's not how it works. So like, I just don't know
Okay,
where
so
you're
how
getting
does
that.
it work
Wait,
then? How does
what's
it work? Why did we sue in civil court for monetary funds? Or are we trying to get him put in jail? Because I don't want anything from him. I want him to go to jail.
again? And I think that Eugene Carroll would want that too. But the issue is that she doesn't have the capacity to do that because of the statute of limitations. That's just a
In a
reality.
civil
I don't know how many more
court,
times I can say it to you.
that you're contradicting yourself. In civil court, if he was convicted of it, What happened to Donald Trump in civil court if he was convicted of it?
Yeah, so there was a unanimous decision of all 9 people in the jury that indicated, based upon
Okay.
preponderance of evidence, that Donald Trump. And there was even appeal that indicated that Donald Trump did do this. The judge literally said after the appeal that Donald Trump, in fact, Eugene Carroll.
Okay, and why did he not? What happened? What was his punishment for this?
He had to pay millions of dollars.
Okay. So in civil court we go for monetary funds.
Yes.
Okay. Well, she was paid millions of dollars. So apparently that actually happened.
So then
If
you
he
don't
was
support him,
convicted
right?
of it, what now?
So then you don't support him, given that he was held civilly liable as a woman.
I
Because
don't support that now.
like you
I
wouldn't vote
don't.
for him
And he
anymore
should
now
be
that you
in
know
jail.
this.
And I would not have voted for him. But he was already in office. We didn't know that. Um, so um,
We actually did at the time, but given that you didn't know that, like, so like you would say that if you could go back, you would not vote for him anymore.
I would have not. I would have voted for Donald Duck. Okay, if I knew that happened. Okay, if we knew before, but we did not. We did obviously we didn't know that before he was put into office,
Actually, we
right?
did, and I was literally
Okay,
debating
we did.
people.
Okay,
I was screaming from the skyscrapers that that was true.
okay.
But yeah,
But so
yeah. So
we
I mean,
did know
at
before we
least
put him in office that this happened, and he had to pay millions of dollars before he
yeah,
became
this
the
already
president.
happened. Yeah, the determination was prior to the election, well prior.
Okay, you're gonna have to send me that information. I've
Yeah,
never
look up
seen that
Trump liable
information before.
essay AP News,
What is
and you can
SAPP News?
yeah look up Trump liable essay AP News.
Okay. Well, I have no earthly idea what kind of news source that is, but you just have to. That bitch better stop calling me a piece of nurse.
Okay.
I
Well,
don't know why you let your people talk to like this because I'm not victim blaming anyone. I'm telling you that I've been, and if it really happened, you would want to take that. And if it happened to one of your children, I'm gonna promise you this. If it happened to one of the two of my daughters, I would be in jail because they would be dead. Okay. So
okay.
that's how
So
much
like,
I
let me clarify.
believe in
If Donald
rape.
Trump went up to your daughter and said he would date her in 10 years, would you still vote for him?
Hell no.
Well, he did that to a. I can play an audio recording right now of Donald Trump saying that to a. You can hear
Okay, well, where is
her
this
saying that
audio
she's go.
recording coming from? And we have a lot of AI going on right now,
No,
so
this was well
I would
before
love to
AI
hear it in
existed.
AI.
Do you want to hear it?
Okay,
I'll play
so
it.
this
This is well
existed in
before AI existed.
1995. In 1995.
Listen here.
Thursday night.
That
You going up the escalator? I'm going to be dating her in 10 years. Can you believe it?
That was caught on a hot mic after a CBS interview in 1992.
okay in
He said,
1992.
"Are you
So
going up the escalator?" She said, "Yeah." He said, "Can you believe it? I'm
what
going
was
to be
the
dating her in
context
10
before that
years."
though?
So I'm
What
telling you
was
the
the
whole context.
context
I'll
before
tell you the whole
that?
context again. He saw her going up the escalator. He asks her, "Are you going up the escalator?" She goes, "Yeah." Then he goes, "Can you believe it? I'm going to be dating her in 10 years." And then she goes,
Oh,
and then goes up the escalator.
okay. Okay. So tell me why you voted for Kamala Harris.
Because of those things. All of the
Okay.
fact that Donald Trump's character is horrible, the fact that his policy leads to a worse country, it's harmed our
What is
economy.
her
It
policy?
disproportionately takes from the lowest levels of
I'm
income and
asking
gives to
what
the
her
rich.
policy is
Her
and what she
policy
could have
is
done for the
to
country.
expand access to healthcare through the context of a public option to provide everyone access, universal access to healthcare, which would be cheaper and a more effective alternative. She wants it to expand the child tax credit to decrease taxes on families that have children, to actually decrease childhood poverty in this country to $6,000 for the first year of a child's life, $3,600 through them being 5 years old, $3,000 through them being 18, the $2,000 cap on pharmaceuticals out of pocket for a year, $35 cap on insulin for everyone per month, not just people who are on Medicare, like what they were able to extend it to prior to the Inflation Reduction Act. Those are policies she was advocating for. And they're great
Is
policies.
that
I
so
can
we
keep
could
it. I
go
can keep
candy
talking about the
together?
$25,000 tax credit for first-time home buyers for new homes. I can talk about the $50,000 tax deductible for small businesses starting out in their first year.
When I bought my first home, um, um, I got a huge break because it was my first home. So, and that was back in 2002 when I bought my first home. It is now paid for. So I don't know why people are trying. I mean, homes are selling in Georgia like crazy mad, and they're like, they're selling like wildfire. So why are people not buying homes? Why are people not buying homes in your state?
Interest rates. It's not just my state. It's interest rates are higher, and it's also not around the entire U.S. Housing prices have gone up around the U.S.
That's
Right, and
because
that's
everything goes up. Eggs have gone up, milk has gone up. That was during the Biden
technically eggs have gone
administration.
down because of the bird flu, but
I know, you know
grocery
why?
prices
Because
have gone
Donald
up.
Trump
Grocery
made it go
prices have gone
down.
up because Trump has caused put up upward pressure on inflation in terms of by imposing tariffs that have negatively impacted the consumer market and caused upward pressure on those prices. Oh, did they just leave? Did they accidentally just leave, or did I lose guest access? Or okay, I still have guest access. They just randomly left.